Okay, so in this first clip, we're going to look at the relationship between how many moles of a substance we have if we are given the mass within a question or within a practical situation, and we need to know how many moles of a substance we have, and we need to know the relationship between moles and mass, and we do that by taking the mass and dividing by the relative formula mass, relative molecular mass, molecular weight, whichever term you come across. So if we make up a question essentially, we'll take a compound, we'll take calcium carbonate, so fairly standard compound, CaCO3. With most of these questions, the first rule is you have to generate the RFM of the substance. So we know from formula of calcium carbonate, so there's a bit of an assumption at this stage now that valency and formulae, so you know how to generate the calcium carbonate formulae. In some exam questions you'd be given it. But so as I say, there's one calcium, there's one carbon, and then there are 3 oxygens. Now you'd have to have the periodic table to hand and have the mass numbers. So for calcium it'd be 40. Remember, it's the top number, the larger of the 2 numbers. For carbon it's 12, and for oxygen it's 16. So if we then just manipulate those numbers, we would have one lot of 40 from the calcium, we'd have one lot of carbon there, one lot of 12, and 3 lots of 16 from the oxygens, and we just simply add those together and you get an RFM of 100. So that's not going to change throughout any of the questions. So if we now know that the RFM of calcium carbonate is 100, this is the value that would go into here. And now what we have is a situation whereby if we were given any question which gave us a mass, so for example, just make up some numbers, if we say that the question had 25 grams of calcium carbonate, how many moles is that? Well, the moles is equal to the mass you are given within the situation divided by its relative formula mass for the compound you're looking at, and that will give you a value of the number of moles, 0.25 moles of the substance. Okay, and as you can see, once you've got the RFM there would need to be potentially at some stages a manipulation and rearrangement of that equation, but ultimately the equation that we do need to be aware of at this stage is moles equals mass divided by RFM.